Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Rifan Gunawan and today I'm going to talk about a very important concept in software development called Object-Oriented Programming or OOP. OOP is one of the most widely used approaches in programming today, whether you're building a small application or a large-scale system. Understanding OOP is essential. In this presentation, I will explain what OOP is, its key principles, real-life examples, and a simple code demonstration using Java. So let's get started. What is OOP? OOP, or Object-Oriented Programming, is a program paradigm, which means style or way of programming that uses objects to design applications. In simple terms, instead of just writing procedure or functions, we create objects that represent real-world things. Each object contains data called attributes or fields, and behavior called methods. For example, if we're creating a school application, we can have a student object with attributes like name and ID, and a method like register or take exam. OOP helps the developer write code that is more structured, organized, and closer to how we think about the real world. It also makes it easier to manage and reuse code in large projects. Now, let's talk about the four main principles of OOP. These are foundation of this programming paradigm. The first principle is encapsulation. This means bundling the data and the methods that operate on that data into a single unit, the object, and hiding the internal details from outside. So instead of accessing the data directly, we use methods. This protects the integrity of the data. The second principle is abstraction. Abstraction means hiding the complex logic and showing only the necessary information. It helps reduce complexity. For example, when you drive a car, you don't need to know how the engine works. You just press the accelerator. That's abstraction. Third, we have inheritance. Inheritance allows a new class to use the properties and methods of an existing class. This promotes code reuse. For example, we can have a vehicle class and then a car class that inherit from vehicle. And lastly, polymorphism. This means many forms. It allows objects to behave differently based on their class, even if they share the same method name. For example, the method move could mean different things for a car and for an airplane. To make it easier to understand, let's use a real-life analogy. Think of a class as a blueprint, like a design for a car. It defines what the object should have and do, but it's not the actual car. An object is the real car that we can drive. We can make multiple objects from the same class, just like we can make many cars from one blueprint. Each car object can have different colors, brand, or speed, but they are all made using the same structure. This analogy helps us understand the idea that a class defines structure and objects are instances based on that structure. Now, let me show you a simple example in Java to demonstrate these ideas in practice. First, we create a class called car. It has one attribute called color and one method called drive. In the main method, we create an object of the class car using the new keyword. Then we assign a color to the car, in this case red, and we call the drive method which print driving. This simple code shows how we use classes and objects in Java. You can imagine adding more attributes like speed, brand, or full level, and more methods like stop or accelerator. So, why do we use OOP. First, OOP allows us to use code using inheritance. You don't need to write everything from scratch. Second, OOP makes program easier to maintain and update because each object has its own responsibility. Third, it improves code organization and makes large projects more manageable. It also supports modular design, which means different teams can work on different parts of the application at the same time. These advantages are the reason OOP is used in so many software applications today. To summarize, object-oriented programming is a way of writing programs using objects that contains data and behavior. It is based on four main principles: encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. OOP makes coding more efficient, organized, and scalable. I hope this presentation helped you understand the basic idea of OOP and how it is used in programming. Thank you very much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.